to the official Nintendo podcast.
These you on sale now. $3.99.
Unbelievable.
Bosh. Hello and welcome to the official Nintendo Magazine podcast number 23. I'm your host Neil Long. I'm joined by Deputy Editor Steve Hogarty.
Hello, how do you do?
I'm doing great. I'm also joined by online editor Thomas East.
Hello.
Hello. Games editor Chris Scullion.
Hi.
And Nintendo TV man Gav Murphy.
Hello, everyone.
Everyone gets their official titles apart from you, Gav.
I don't know.
Just did a dance.
You don't know what you are.
I'm really excited there when you said that.
He said my name. Yes, we're here to talk about the new issue of Official Nintendo Magazine, which is on sale now. There's a fantastic Wii U supplement with it, an amazing Mario interview inside, but for now we're going to be talking about what we've been playing. I like to think I'm quite good at platformers. That is a lengthy task.
I'll tell you what, I'm really there. I'm really there.
It was really good. It's really
awesome.
good.
Yeah, I just
Utter rubbish in the
blobs.
also really cool.
Really?
Yeah. That's a really good
Not my cup of tea, those sort of games.
Really?
They're not mine usually either, but every spare minute of my time goes really
Game over.
So, currently in the office, I think pretty much all of us are playing Ocarina of Time, aren't we?
Yeah.
Not just all of us, pretty much every single person in the office.
Yeah.
Total film.
Every person.
Yeah.
on
Satellite.
Yeah.
Even the guys on the knitting mags,
Yeah.
they're not even in our office. That was a lie.
But they do
might
send
be.
us emails saying Ocarina is brilliant.
Saying
Yeah.
I can't get
So is
through the
knitting.
fire temple.
Yeah. So
It seems to have gone down pretty well with
yeah.
Yeah.
our readership. There's a bit of a debate on the website, isn't there, Tom, about whether it should get 100%.
That's correct.
Shouldn't get 100%.
Nothing gets 100%.
Yeah.
It's a logarithmic scale. That's the limit.
Where do you go after 98?
We don't
We
have to
gave
shoot
it
ourselves in
98.
the face after 100%. Might as well give up and go home. Simply for the hand that chucks you out of the forest temple, I don't think you get 100%. I'll knock 1% off for that.
Yeah.
Because
Similarly, I don't like the bottom of the well. I find that
Yeah.
irritating.
Or with
'Cause you
the
drop through
lens
those
of
gaps.
truth.
Yeah, and then you end up in that room again and again and again. It drives me mad.
I hate the lens of truth. I think it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
awful.
I like the noise though.
we hate it.
Yeah.
23%.
I keep getting stuck. Like when I'm doing really well, I'm thinking, oh, I've really, really cracked it here. And then there was one bit I was talking to you guys about where I was just stuck and I had no idea what to do. I couldn't remember doing it the first time. And then I thought, right, I'm going to have to look at some kind of like walkthrough. Looked at it and it was like, go back to where you planted the bean. I didn't plant any beans, so
Exactly.
Yeah.
go back
Exactly the
to
same
where
thing
you wore the
happened to me.
mask on stage. Didn't wear a mask on stage.
Yeah.
So
I cruise through until I reckon I'm probably 2/3 of the way through. And then I just got stuck on all sorts of bits.
Yeah.
I got stuck on several bits at the same time, if you get my drift.
I was fine until he became an adult, and the
Yeah.
same, and then
It's the story of my life.
Magic Bean issue and various other things. But yes, Blue Falcon said 98% is unacceptable for Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. It
sorry,
has to be
Luke.
100%. No excuses.
No excuses.
Well, there's one excuse, and that is, hey, listen. That alone takes
That's
it
true, and
100%
Naruto.
off
I
it.
like it.
Why not take a break every 30 minutes? Why
Hour.
not? Listen,
Isn't it every hour?
every hour?
Yeah,
Is
it's
it?
every
Like,
hour.
why not
I don't think
get
it's
off
every
my
hour, is
back, Navi, and let me play the game?
Apparently, it
with
doesn't
you?
register when you've had
No,
it
it
shut,
doesn't. That's
so
the
you
thing,
can open
yeah.
it, and she's immediately telling you to turn it off.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why not take a break?
Turn her off.
I honestly haven't noticed that.
The only time I had a problem was
It's
when
only
I put
happened 2 or 3 times.
Ruto down to attack some group of clawy enemies, and I got told to come back. Haven't we go and rescue her? I'm trying.
yeah, that's really annoying. That is.
So
And then
in,
I went back
in
and I was
summary,
told I was
Ocarina of
inconsiderate.
Time.
Yeah.
It's
very,
rubbish.
very poor.
It makes the commute like into work like amazing. Like I used to have a 40-minute commute. Moved this weekend, then it kept my commute down to 20 minutes. And everyone's like, "Oh, it's awesome! You're gonna have a really short commute." Not awesome because I don't get to play as much. Took the bus this morning, hour and 10 minutes. I really did.
Deliberately extending your commute so you can play Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, 80% because of Ocarina, 20% because I'm skint.
That's fair enough.
But yeah, hour and 10 minutes of Ocarina this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
But I got stuck after 40 minutes, so that was redundant, really.
That's quite annoying, isn't it? When you're on the tube, obviously you don't have access to guides, and you just sat there for half an hour going.
Yeah.
Nah, I saved one.
Yeah.
Judging by the response, there hasn't been that many people. Either they're using guides and they're not telling us.
They are definitely using guides.
Definitely.
Well,
or
Tom saw all
it's
the
a perfectly intuitive game that you can get.
Yeah,
immediately.
I did see all our bloggers on the launch day, and they all bought walkthroughs.
Ooh,
What?
But
out in them.
having read a walkthrough, I mean, would anyone be able to find all the stuff, all the beams, all the platforms,
no
all
way.
the
I can't believe they would.
sculptures, whatever?
If if
without-
anyone out there says they have, they're a liar. And
Yeah?
I'll challenge them to their
Okay.
face.
What about the person who wrote the guide?
Wow.
Well, he obviously got help
He
from
copied
other people.
another
He can't
guy.
paste it from
Copied the last
from
guy.
the N64 guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the man who wrote that guide was a certain Mr. God who knew everything.
James God from Southampton.
I know him.
commented.
Using his omnipotence to write Ocarina of Time guides.
He actually wrote the guide.
Seems like a bit of a waste of his time, really. Doesn't it?
he actually wrote
Fighting
the
the
guide.
good fight.
He wrote
there.
the guide before me and Moto even come up with the idea of the game.
And showed it to me more. Do
He
this.
said that's exactly what I was thinking.
You'll
Yes.
get 98%.
Guaranteed 98% in O&M.
No excuses.
Dixie Doodle off the forum says it deserves 100%. His or her reasoning. The original was amazing, but the 3DS version has just exceeded all my expectations. Everything about the game is stunning. The visuals, the music, the gameplay. This game deserves 100%.
Wrong.
No,
Well,
at least
it's entirely
he's a little bit more
fine.
level-headed than the
brilliant.
last person.
I like
yeah,
the fact that people, like, we've given it 98%.
Yeah.
And people are saying,
It's not good enough.
nope, should have been 100.
What if?
God, O&M.
What if we had have given it 100? What would have
I
happened?
don't.
They would have been
I think
furious.
all of the publishing industry would have collapsed.
Yeah.
They would have formed a black hole. And
Yeah.
everyone would have been sucked into it.
Someone did say here's some flaws. Laughlin, good username, unless it's your surname, which. Yeah.
Still good.
Still
to
good.
identify yourself.
The only flaws I found are that climbing on top of a movable block can be iffy.
Yep.
It doesn't always give the climb command.
No, I
that
get
is
that.
true.
That's fine. Yeah.
And
I've got-
using
That
the
is really weird,
gyroscope
yeah.
function to look around is too fiddly, and you lose a 3D sweet spot very easily. Now I don't use a gyro, but you do, don't you?
Yeah, I think it's great.
Yeah.
I used the gyro as well.
I'm all about
don't
the
like
gyro these days.
No.
I don't like it.
It's
don't
too
like
fiddly
it?
No.
otherwise. You're trying to
I
get
think
it
it's
into the just the
absolutely
right
like
place.
it's perfect if you're just about in line and you just go
Yeah.
move it a fraction, and I think it works really, really well.
It's nice that the option's there because it's obviously the sort of thing that people get along with it or people don't. I mean, I think me and Tom don't, and you two.
think it's
do, so
quicker.
it's fair enough.
As well.
It is quicker, but I don't know. You do lose. I have to take the 3D off to use it. Otherwise,
Well,
it's
I just put the 3D up for the cutscenes.
Yeah.
Or just when you know it's a nice looking bit of game,
okay.
where you know, riding around on the on Hyrule Field or whatever, and the sun sets, and you think, all right, going to enjoy this a little bit more.
Yeah,
Put the
I
depth
do that
slider
as
up.
well. I do that as well.
I've earned this.
Yeah, after a tough
Little treat
dungeon.
for Neil.
Yeah, that
After a
cow
hard
would
day's
look
work,
incredible
just-
if I put the 3D depth slider up.
But actually, there's a screenshot in the latest issue in the guide, which makes me laugh every time I see it. And it's in the Zelda guide, and it's as Link is playing the song, and there's a cow in the background.
Yeah,
singing. That's just the ultimate screenshot.
That's when I put it up as well. Whenever you play a song,
Yeah, that's
the
nice.
3D
Yeah.
effects
the
when you do
notes
that.
come out.
It looks great. What do you play in 3D all the way then?
Yeah,
Halfway.
No, I don't.
halfway up. Yeah,
I play everything on there,
Really?
even
non 3D
2D
games.
games.
I'm constantly just adjusting it.
Yeah, me too.
No, I play
I'm a
it
fiddler.
halfway. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't see the point of having it. That's Might give it back to me.
As soon as you said that, you realised your own opinion was wrong.
I did have an awesome argument with a friend of mine who's just bought a 3DS for Ocarina of Time, and I was like, "Oh, get this and get this." I was like, he's like, "Oh, downloaded Excitebike, then delete this straight away. It's rubbish." I was like, "No, you're rubbish." I was like, "Oh, make sure you
Good
download.
argument.
Make sure you
am
download
rubbish.
the Pokédex." That's where he goes, "It's not a game though, is it?" We're done, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like the Pokédex.
Arguing with idiots.
What's not to like? It's free.
It's rubbish.
Trying to
It's free.
explain why Street Pass is good to someone who's got a 3DS, and they're going, I was like, yeah, give it back, give it to me.
Get it.
You're not having
The
it.
only good thing about the Pokédex is the fantastic large Pokédex AR card free with
I love the Pokédex.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Chris.
Other than that, it's garbage.
The only place you can get it,
It's so wrong.
apart from Endgamer and Games Master.
Yeah.
I think who wrote the thing in the mag about it? Was it you, Steve?
Yeah.
It was
I love
like-
the Pokédex.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I
awesome.
do too.
But the, as you said, the only thing that's really, really rubbish is that you can't switch out. Like they should make it that you can switch out from playing black and white.
Yes, because
Using
you
it,
can't have two things running
Yeah.
at once. So yeah, it's a bit rubbish.
But I guess if you were playing it, like we've talked about this before, like Pokemon looks better on the XL anyway, I think, than the 3DS.
Yeah, 'cause I prefer playing Pokemon on the XL because
Yeah.
it scales up nicer
Yeah.
on the XL than
I
it
just
does
think
on
if you had
3DS.
that, then you could be like, ooh, look at me. I've got two on the go.
The coolest guy on the train.
What's this? Yeah, check my Pokédex, mate.
Dual wielding. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I would have got along with it a bit better if you could actually control. Because you only get so many a day, can't you?
Yeah.
I liked it if when you played the game, somehow the ones you caught in the game then appeared in the Pokédex in the app, so that you actually feel like you're earning them rather than just every day it says right here's some more random
Yeah.
ones. And if I had the other ones from the previous generations as well, I just can't get along with the black and white ones.
Well, I think they're just sort of teching it at the moment, aren't they? Like thinking, right, how are people going to use this Pokédex? Then how are we going to be able to implement that into the new Pokemon game?
I think the idea is, in the same way that Street Pass Quest was designed to make people
Yeah.
use Street Pass, this is supposed to make people use Spot Pass. 'Cause
Yeah.
Yeah.
as long as you keep it connected, you're going to keep getting 3 a day.
It's not quite. It's not an amazing sort of user interface, though, is it? Really?
It is really confusing at times.
It took me a while to realise they were all at the
Yeah.
bottom of the screen as well.
There's a lot
Like,
of
I just hadn't seen that.
menu
Yeah.
navigation going on.
There's
in that
a lot of
thing.
stats
There are a lot-
and stuff
there are
that
a
I
lot
just
of Pokemon
don't care
there.
about.
Yeah.
But good though.
But yeah, if you want to
Divisive.
look up all the stats,
Get it
stuff
in
like
your
that.
download pipes onto your 3DS.
At the end of the day, it's free, so if you don't have it yet, then you're a
Yeah.
clown.
Then you're a clown.
you might as well just get it and see if you like it or not. There's no point even
it's
listening to what
actually
we think.
free.
Yeah.
Just get it, and
Yeah.
then
You've just wasted 5 minutes of your life.
you're
listening
unable
what
to
we
complain from that point. It's free. So
People can't take all the free things. They need some guidance as to which free things they should
That's true.
have.
think. Well, they should have
Well,
taken Excite
for that reason, we didn't review it, did we? We just explained what it
Yeah.
was,
Yeah.
rather than can't review
You can't really.
a free
It's not.
thing,
It's not
which
really.
is
It's
essentially
not a
just
game either,
some
is it?
stats.
Yeah,
It's not a game.
some cards.
Unlike Excitebike, which we had to review because as of now it costs you
Is
money.
it as of now?
Yeah,
Really?
and now
Is it the
7th
7th
to-
today?
it-
Well, no,
it now-
when this podcast comes out.
Oh yes, sorry.
you'll have to buy it now.
Yeah.
Now I'm
Good.
not a particular fan of Excitebike, but you are, Chris.
Yes, I am.
Hence the review in the latest issue on sale now.
Yeah. It's similar to using the gyro in Zelda, and that some people get along with it and some people don't. It's one of those. I think if you treat it as a racing game, you won't like it.
Yeah.
If you treat it as a kind of time trial type thing, then it's pretty cool. It's all about.
It's quite hard.
It's really difficult to get used to.
I didn't get it till I saw your video of you playing on the Wii version, and then I was like, "Oh right, so you can control the way that you land."
Yeah,
So
that's,
I was
that's,
just
basically, that's
going-
basically what it comes down to is judging the
Yeah.
because you get two different speeds and one of them overburns it. So you got to keep an eye on the speed. You got to make sure you land properly and land on the arrows to.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I was
Temperature
landing
down
just
Flat.
like as it was, just
Yeah.
all the time. It was like slowing down. I was like, "This is rubbish." Then
Yeah.
when you
How
click
are you
with
supposed to land?
it, you
You
can control
can
the
press
bike
left
in
and
the air.
right while your bike's in midair, and you can tilt. So you're supposed to land with your wheels flat on the ground,
Right.
Yeah.
so then it doesn't bump and
Yeah.
you don't
So
lose
if you're
any speed.
landing on a ramp, for example, you land. I'm doing
Yeah, you
hand
land-
movements,
land
which
with
is
your
great
wheels
for a
hitting.
podcast.
I think it's one of those games that's easy to dismiss,
Yeah,
but if like you say, you sort of figure it all out.
yeah,
then-
it's got a kind of hidden depth.
Well, I've been using it just as when Zelda's been winding me up, just going, "Ugh!" exiting Zelda. And going, what else have I got? Oh, excited by playing that. Yay!
The only thing I don't like about it is they've got all this track creation stuff in it now, which is awesome because the original game had that, but it didn't have a save because save files didn't exist back then. So you can save up to like 16 tracks, I think, as of 32, but you can't then send them to people on your friends list, which seems to be the whole point to me. Like, I've made this ridiculous track, see if you can beat it.
Play,
There's no multiplayer either, is there?
No,
No.
which is garbage. Because
is
the
quite old,
WiiWare
though.
version had really good multiplayer. The thing is, it is quite old, but they've messed about
Very
with it in
old.
loads of different ways, so that they could have messed about with it in that way as well. I think.
I think it's really neat the first time you change, pull the slider up and it
That
flies
is really
backwards,
good.
you know,
That
to
is
the
good,
shows
yeah.
they do. I think it's really cool.
That's clever.
So it's
worth
one
it just for
if you're keen on beating your own times, getting high scores, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
Good
definitely.
for that sort of gamer.
It's really it does test your skills as well. It is very hard. So
Yes,
not-
it's a really good it's a reaction based
yeah.
type
Yeah.
thing.
Similarly, check out this segue. Resident Evil Mercenaries.
Mercenaries.
It's very high score based, isn't it?
Mercenaries.
Yeah.
Getting SS ranks on
Especially
each of
if you're
the.
me playing there.
Yeah. Why are you particularly bad at it? Or
I'm particularly awesome at it.
all right.
Not really.
I was playing it on the train this morning, trying to because I had to start a new save file because the obviously the one I reviewed was on a different 3DS unit. God, those early tutorials are dull, aren't they?
Yeah.
Run around. I don't need a whole level telling me how to run in a game. Come on.
If you've never played a game before, but similarly, if you've never played a game before, I doubt you'd be picking up Resident Evil Mercenaries 3D.
Yeah,
That'll be the
I'm
first one to go
a
for.
new gamer. What shall I go for?
Yeah,
I think I'll go for this survival horror game.
yeah.
Did I tell you a couple of days ago about the woman who almost basically had a go at me for playing it on the tube? Did I tell you this?
Really?
I
I didn't hear that.
I was sitting playing it, and I'd play it in 2D sometimes when I'm on the tube because when you're bumping about and all that, you kind of lose the 3D sometimes. So sitting playing away, sometimes you're sitting on the tube like a kid. If a woman's got a kid and the kid will come over and look at what you're playing or sit next to you, and you're like, right, whatever. So I'm sitting playing it, and the woman's kid's running riot in the tube, looking about, going. Ugh. So the kid's sitting next to me, looking over, looking at what I'm playing, and I'm like, whatever, so I'm playing away. And the woman looked over and went, "That's a very violent game you're playing." I felt like saying something rather rude. Don't
you
make your
almost
kid
did.
come over and I almost did. Don't make your kid come over and watch me playing it then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sit it on your lap and shut up.
That's why.
Yeah. Control your children first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
That's
yeah.
why I can't watch
Yeah.
films or TV shows or anything on things. I'm just like,
'Cause
I
they're
was watching
all-
Eastbound and Down before, and like some lady just looking over. There's a particularly rude bit.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm not a freak.
I
just
can't help looking when people watch stuff on their iPhones
Yeah.
or iPads. I just can't help just watching it for a bit myself.
Yeah, absolutely.
judging
And
what
you
they're
know
watching.
everyone else is going to do it if you're doing it.
Yeah,
so
so
it's
that's
like,
the thing. So it's tricky because I like playing Mercenaries, but I now feel self-conscious playing it now in case someone
Just hold
gets
it really
offended.
close to your face.
I kind of feel like I have to play it in 3D now so that people can't see it.
That's why I never used to be able to play Professor Layton on the train, because I'd just be looking at this puzzle for ages.
Yeah.
So
And knowing that
Everyone
someone-
around you solved
going,
it.
So it's just,
So I've done it.
someone hands you a piece of paper
Yeah,
with the
exactly.
solution on it.
Can you hurry up and do it so I can get to the next one?
I used to play Pro Evo on the PSP like years and years ago, like maybe 3 years ago. It's not that long. And I'd scored a goal once, and the person sitting next to me in the tube went, "Hey!"
Really?
That's good.
So I think the response so far to Mercenaries, overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Triforce
Triforce
Mank on our forum said, I got the game this morning and I have to say it's really good. I think O&M got the review spot on.
Yeah.
Absolutely right.
What do we give it?
85.
odds.
85.
I
think
got
it was.
one here though from Akira Tenchi who says,
I was going to go on to.
terrible game. The graphics are horrible, the frame rate is horrendous, the
Wow.
AI is a joke, the animations are stiff, and there is only one save file which you can never delete. That last bit
Right.
is true.
That has.
That he does have a point about that. last one.
Should we just talk about this save file thing?
Yeah.
Which is just nonsense. I
Yeah.
don't care if I can delete or
I don't care either.
not delete a save file.
I think if you're
Just don't care.
I can understand people who want to buy the game cheap, but there's so many websites nowadays. Like if you look at for something on Amazon, like maybe a few months after it's come on, it's cheap enough now that they cost as much. Like Street Fighter is like what $14.99 or something on Amazon now. Street Fighter 3D. You wait a few months, you can get it brand new for a second-hand price. I think anyone who buys a game with the intention of trading it in later on is kind of buying games for the wrong reason.
Really?
I don't think that's true.
No,
That's fine.
I trade in all the games I buy.
If you've got,
that's fair enough. But I wouldn't
But
buy.
if you
I wouldn't
haven't got
buy a
much
game.
money-
Yeah, but I wouldn't buy a game while thinking at the same time, oh, how much am I going to be able to trade this in for?
I think a lot
as
of
I buy
people
it.
they don't collect games at all. They'll buy games when they finish them. They trade them in.
I do that.
They only
Yeah.
own a handful of games at
and
one time.
if you haven't got, a great deal of money, which a lot of
Yeah,
people under the age of, well, they shouldn't be playing it, should they? 'Cause it's
yeah,
Resident Evil.
exactly, Tom. Exactly.
It's a 15 though.
Is it a 15?
I thought was
Yeah.
slightly
The trailers are 18.
lenient.
Mm.
Yeah,
All the trailers are 18. They have an 18.
it's pretty nasty for a 15.
Yes, awesome.
I'd be really annoyed if I handed my 3DS to a mate and they got like SS rank or something that I
that's
hadn't
fair
done
enough.
yet,
Yeah.
and I'd constantly be playing in their shadow, like getting
Yeah.
scores that aren't
I'd be
being.
happy with that.
But
I-
he's
I think I'm
scored on the
taking the
levels.
absolute opposite opinion on.
I mean, I
compared to
think-
the internet. If I got Mercenaries and everything was unlocked already, I think that's pretty cool.
No, that would.
I've got loads of stuff to play on now. Like, I can go on any level I want.
But
This
then
is great.
We talked about this with Street Fighter, though. We said, like, one of the reasons, though, like, Street Fighter didn't have, like, a replayability is that you didn't unlock anything. Like, if you were playing it through for the first time, like, I don't know. I like to unlock things and go, right, oh, awesome, I've unlocked a bunch of stuff. Now on to the next bit. It feels like you're doing it, especially with a
I
game
guess
like this,
the
where
sense of
there's no
progression
levels
is
or
lost,
story
yeah.
or anything.
Yeah.
You need these unlockables,
But
so that's
then-
the only thing you're playing for.
If the cartridge you have has some really high scores on it, then that's a target to beat as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
I
understand
think it's
it.
just
I don't understand why they
internet
did it.
nonsense.
It is half
Ignore
it-
all that. Just read O&M.
Yeah, half it is internet nonsense because people just like to moan on the internet.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't believe this.
Apparently, it's not
And
the
get on
only
a high
one either.
horse.
Yeah, well,
Apparently
to the
it's not the
point
only
where isn't Super
Pro
Monkey
player?
Ball on 3DS?
Yes, it's
you
got
can't
the
delete the
same
save
thing.
file on that,
Yeah.
but
No,
the difference there was no one cares.
No one cares.
it just didn't get brought up. I think.
Yeah,
I
There's
think no one
probably a lot of
noticed. Someone
games.
has noticed that you couldn't delete a save file, put it
Yeah.
on the internet. The
people got
internet
mad
got
about
angry.
it.
and the particular
Yeah.
news outlet that reported it span it in a certain way to
Yeah.
suggest that they're doing it to
Yeah.
combat
Yeah.
second-hand sales,
Yeah.
which is
And then
nonsense.
there's probably a lot of games that do that in the DS's history and all that, and because not a lot of them you've got to put in these stupid secret button combinations
Yeah.
to wipe the data. And so there's probably a lot of games that
Yeah.
have been
It's
like
quite
that.
hard to do that in Pokemon.
Yes.
There's one way to delete the save game data. It's just take a hammer to it, smash it
But
to
I-
bits.
I don't
and
understand
place-
why they
just
did
buy
that.
it new.
I think it's a bit silly.
Place the
Buy it.
cartridge in
If
water.
you're that bothered.
Well, yeah, well that's it. That's the answer.
Yeah, so shut up, basically. Internet.
I
Shut up.
just wanted to address Akira Tenshi, also the guy who's particularly angry about Mercenaries.
Really angry.
Are
Are you alright, Akira? Seriously? Like,
yeah, I mean,
knowing games in
he
life,
might have
like,
some.
that someone
He might have some
hurt
personal
you.
issues, maybe. I don't know.
Give us a
Um,
call. Seriously.
He says, this is O&M though, the most biased magazine around, who are far too eager to throw high scores at anything exclusive to a Nintendo platform.
Yeah, because Resident Evil's exclusive.
No, Resident Evil Mercenaries isn't it? Well, no, really. The game, I guess, Mercenaries 3D is.
And then he continues, half of you lot, well, he meant to say lot, but he actually he's written lost. Trays in this game have not even played it. Remember, this is the day before release. Anyway, I thought I'd read out. Thought I'd read out the abuse that we get on a daily basis.
Yeah.
because we are so biased.
Speaking of abuse, has anyone
I
seen
love
this
it.
thing on the forum?
I enjoy it.
Who should get sacked?
Man,
Oh,
yeah, I started that. Is that cool?
well,
Who's getting sacked?
as long as this isn't an official thing, this isn't like a war.
Yeah, we're running a
It's,
poll.
it's legally binding.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Damn.
it's been signed off by the
If anyone
board.
hasn't seen, there's a forum on this in who should get sacked, and me.
Yeah, Gav's
I think,
far and away.
to be fair, yeah.
It's good. It's good though because I hardly go on the forums. And one of the guys on there, thank you very much, whoever you are, I can't remember your name right now, was just like sending a message in. So you better look at this, mate. As if you're in trouble, mate.
You're in
You don't
actual
know about
trouble.
it.
Who was it? It wasn't Lee Nutter starting that thread, was it?
Really hope not.
But no one will get that joke. So Lee Nutter's our serious
long
boss.
time readers will get it. But,
Yeah.
And if you listen to this, Neil, Lee, you better stop starting threads about me on the forums. I'm
trying to
going
get you
straight
out.
to HR.
You don't want to worry about that. So Resident Evil Mercenaries, we're all
Yes.
very much enjoying it.
Including Akira. He emailed us after
Well,
posting that saying
Akira,
he changed his mind
I think
and
it's
loved
nice that he's that passionate about.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he's bought it. He has bought
Yeah.
it, and
But he's
he said
taken it back,
He's
that's
taken
what
it
he
back,
says.
Yeah.
But that's fine. So you
it. Good luck to the person buying that.
no great
Look at
loss
that
there.
save file. But I think it's the sort of game. If you buy it and you're kind of distraught by the start of it, it does start fairly badly.
Yeah,
Like, when
it's,
you
a,
get
it's a
to-
slow
I
start.
think level three. I think is where it starts getting good because that's when
Yeah.
it brings in the combo system and it feels like proper
Yeah.
mercenaries. And from that point on, it becomes
But
proper.
it is really good.
mercenaries. Yeah.
It's
I could
very,
imagine
very
it
good.
if you didn't know. I mean, I don't know why you'd spend £30 on something where you didn't really know what it was about. But if you thought it was just a Resident Evil game in the vein
Yeah.
of what's coming up, Revelations or
research.
something like that, then maybe you'd be
Yeah.
a bit annoyed. But
Yeah.
I hope they carry on some of the stuff though. Like some of the close combat stuff is awesome. Like Jill is amazing. Like I found myself going her more than any of the others. Just 'cause she's
Yeah, the
really good
little
at-
extra powers
Yeah.
and sort of personal character power-up things that you
Yeah.
can latch on are quite an interesting little addition,
Yeah.
aren't they?
If you unlock the other
I'm
weapons,
sure if you play
yeah.
around enough, you
Dunno.
can
Not
get the
loads.
optimum
Because
character.
you can use everyone's weapon set with each character.
Oh, really?
Like if you can do it with play coins, which I didn't realise they didn't make a big deal of that.
Ah,
But if you go into their weapon selections, they can touch one of their other weapon
yeah.
panels. It asks if you want to use play coins to unlock. So
I
you
do.
can play as Chris and use Hunk's weapons. If
Oh,
you
nice. That's cool.
want. It's quite cool.
Going back to Triforce Mank for a second, he said the Revelations demo is really short, but it's enough to make me really look forward to it. I felt more scared about what's around the corner in those 4 minutes than I did in the whole of Resident Evil 5.
I agree with that.
It's
Yeah.
actually
Well,
actually does look quite scary.
Yeah, it's
Especially when the lick
very
is
much
just
a.
go on your
If you read
shoulder,
the
horrible.
preview in official Nintendo magazine on sale now.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
It was
You'll
it
see.
was really good. I was incredibly disappointed when I got to the end of it because
Yeah.
you guys were playing it. I was like, no, don't tell me. Oh, I want to save it for when I get home. And then it was like you were like, yeah, we're done.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
both
Serious.
the most exciting and the
4
most
minutes is
disappointing.
quite a long time, actually. It took us about 2
Yeah.
minutes 57 seconds,
Yeah.
and that wasn't particularly.
That's really unfortunate,
that-
because they
and we
really
weren't-
have gone
we weren't very
mental
good.
advertising that, saying, yeah, we're going to have a demo in it. It's not a demo.
Yeah.
It's an interactive trailer, basically.
Yeah,
Oh dear.
Well, it gives you an idea of what it's about. I mean, it's better than nothing.
Well, it's
I'd rather
a
nothing.
return to the old school, slower pace of
Yeah, I love it. I
the
think it's
older
brilliant.
Resident Evil games. Which
I'll tell you what,
which
though,
is nice.
It is what I prefer.
I like that.
I tell you what it'll do, what it's supposed to do, and it'll get more sales when it finally comes out. Because anyone who's played that, or almost anyone who's played that, must be getting excited about it. now.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that more.
yeah,
Demos of forthcoming games.
yeah.
It
Although I
happens
always-
a lot on other formats where you get like a beta key, don't
Yeah.
you, for certain other
Yeah.
Although,
games.
as a massive Resident Evil fan, I did just sort of feel a bit weird then going back to Mercy and going, oh yeah, I'm playing Mercy, so I want to play Revelations.
Did you feel slightly
Cheated.
cheated?
Just, I don't know, just sad.
Yeah,
Just sitting there going, all right, back to Mercy.
it's just a taster, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
it's quite a difficult one to score because in terms of the actual content,
Yeah.
there's not a great deal there. But when you're actually playing it, it compels you to
Yeah.
top your high scores, and
Yeah.
just the action itself, like the environments actually don't you don't get bored of the environments because you're concentrating on running away so much
Yeah.
and trying to fight off all these zombies. So it's it's a really good game.
I think there's so much strategy to it if you take it seriously. Like like all these like 50 skills and the 9 different weapon sets and even the different costumes. They've got different strengths and weaknesses and all this
Yeah.
kind of stuff. It's like if you took it seriously and sat down, you could take months and years trying to get the best score.
and co-op is brilliant as well.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
Yeah.
So it's all good stuff. Other good games out this month. There's loads on eShop. Chris, do you want to run us through the surprise package?
Oh,
Donkey Kong.
no comment. Yeah, the Link's Donkey Kong is the big one for me because when they first announced it, Link's Awakening, Super Mario Land, I was like, yeah, brilliant, okay, that's cool. But I think if you look back at like previous issues, we've mentioned Donkey Kong a couple of times in like best games lists and all that as a kind of Nintendo's hidden gem because it's never been seen since then. So when that got announced a week later, I was like, amazing. This is one of my favourite.
I think we've all played it since, haven't we?
Mm.
It's really good. Really,
Yeah,
really good. I didn't... Because it doesn't look like much, does it?
No. It's really clever because the first 4 levels are the same as the Donkey Kong arcade game. So when you first play it, if you don't know much about it, you think, this is a rip-off. I've just spent £3.60 on the arcade game, basically.
Yeah.
And then when you finish the 4th level and Donkey Kong falls and hurts himself like he does in the arcade game, he suddenly gets up and grabs Pauline and legs it. And like it takes you to World 1. It turns out that was World 0. And then you've got like another 96 levels or something. So and it just becomes like a proper
I think
full
they've not
platform.
quite done it justice by just calling it Donkey Kong.
No.
They should have called it like
Donkey Kong
World or something.
Yeah.
It's got, it's got
People
proper
are going
map
to think that
screen.
that's what it is.
It's got several different themed worlds.
It is basically, it's basically
a proper game.
It's basically that Mario versus Donkey Kong on Game Boy Advance was basically the sequel to it because it plays just like that. There's
I
like
love the
keys and
platforming in
doors
it's
and everything.
incredible.
Yeah.
Like I think you said in your review, it was the first instance of like the triple jump being in there and the back flip and stuff. And once you start figuring out how to properly control Mario, it's like he's really maneuverable and stuff.
Yeah, it just takes all the best bits from like the Mario games at the time. You could pick things up and throw it about, like in Mario 2, and there's all that kind of stuff. It's just really clever.
That backflip thing didn't turn up in a real Mario game till Mario 64, did it?
It's
Brilliant.
Clever stuff.
Yeah, clever guy.
And it's, there are ways to get through levels without using it, but if you know how to use it and when to use it, you can sort of bypass little bits and finish a level quicker.
It's funny because if you show it to someone who's never played it before and do the first level, like the first arcade level, they usually got to run up all the ramps now. But if you just do the backflip, go pring, 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 you can like zoom all the way up the top of the level in like 2 seconds. People watching like, what did you just do?
I didn't know.
You could properly just destroy. I'll show you when you get back. You just destroy the level in like 2 seconds.
I love the little animation as well when he falls from too high and he goes splat onto the ground and his
it
little leg sticks underneath.
Also, the noise that Donkey Kong makes is extraordinary, isn't it? It's very, very odd noise.
Yeah. He's quite an odd man.
It's haunted my dreams ever since I
Does it sound
downloaded
like?
that. I can't do it justice. It's such an odd noise. I can't. Genuinely can't. So that's a highlight. Super Mario Land also. Chris, you reviewed that in the issue on sale now.
Yeah. It's just Mario Land, isn't it?
It is.
It's good. I've never played it before. It's the first Mario handheld game. It's got the best music in of any Game Boy game ever created.
The end credits in particular.
better than Tetris.
Fantastic.
End credits are amazing.
It's not on the
Really good.
shortlist. Of the best Nintendo music of all time.
The list of lies.
Well, we'll come on to that.
But yeah, it's quite a short game. Once you get the hang of it, you finish it fairly quickly. But it's perfect for like tube journeys or train or bus or even boat journeys, Steve, because you can finish it in like 25-30 minutes once you get the hang of it, and it's just genius. I like it.
Were you referencing boat journeys? Because I was recently on a boat.
Were you?
I wasn't, but
Yeah.
Fair
I went punting in Oxford.
I see the picture there.
Yeah, that was great fun.
yeah.
They should make a punting game.
What's punting? So I'm incredibly.
It's when you stand
Cambridge.
you stand on the back of a boat with a big stick and you push yourself
Posh.
along the.
Or like in gondolas.
Yes.
It's like
Yeah.
when there's a celebration, you get that like stuff and you wrap around stuff. Bunting.
Oh,
That's what you're talking about.
They
I
don't,
know.
they don't do it in Glasgow. What's the river in Glasgow?
The Clyde.
The Clyde, of course.
Yeah.
tar
I
heroin,
wouldn't
isn't it?
recommend anyone who's anywhere near the Clyde.
River of Iron Brew.
Yeah, and anytime you put your punting stick down it,
Punting.
you'll poke a dead body in
true.
the Clyde.
You
so
keep
I
coming
don't
up with
recommend
corpses.
exactly. I don't recommend it.
So that's Super Mario Land there. Do you want to hear a particularly inflammatory forum comment that
Yes.
I
Yeah.
plucked from the internet just
Love
for you,
to.
Chris?
I'd love to.
I'm gonna. It's from the Sonic God.
Oh, this
I'll be
is
the judge.
good.
This person says, "I'm going to do it in a deliberately contemptuous voice. Not being funny.
Anything that starts
Anything that starts not being funny.
Yeah, clearly, I'm
You're
trying to-
definitely going to be funny.
No offense, that's enough.
yeah, no offense, but
But you gave a game that you complete in 30 minutes 91% and gave Chrono Trigger 90%.
not being
Oh,
funny,
God.
but shut up.
Where's the logic in that? Where's the logic in
logic in
comparing
that-
those two games?
The logic in that is that when you complete a game after 30 minutes. That game doesn't lock itself and is no longer playable.
You don't just buy a game
play it over.
That's how we review games, by
hours.
length of time. Playing it.
You get
The longer the game, the higher the score.
I've been playing
football
Pokemon
game doesn't
for
last very long.
250 hours. So
250%.
It's at about 172% now.
Yeah, I've been playing a game I hate for years, so therefore it's brilliant. I don't know how. I don't know what logic you're working on there, the Sonic God, but
okay, if someone calls himself the Sonic,
deliberately stick a spanner in the works there, just to annoy everyone.
Not being funny. But if you're called the Sonic God and you can finish Sonic 2 in under an hour if you put a bit of effort
That's
in.
true.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Call yourself
Then,
the World of Warcraft God.
Don't compare a game that's
God.
worth £3.
Exactly.
How much can you get Mario Land for?
It's £3.60.
Game Chrono Trigger, which is £30, and a completely different kind of game on a different format. Just don't compare those two games. That's a little tip.
Why are you a fan of football? I think you'll find the Lord of the Rings is far more interesting.
And longer than a game of football.
Exactly.
So there you go. It's been a particularly angry podcast. Sorry about
Yeah,
that. I'm not in a very good mood. But on a positive note, the final really good game on eShop right now, Link's Awakening. It's just a really lovely game. It's not quite as big or sprawling as A Link to the Past. In that respect, I actually prefer it to A Link to the Past because you can get lost on the Link to the Past just because it's too big. Koholint Island, or however you say it, is quite a compact little place, and you know where you're going at all times.
That's good.
The dungeons are particularly tricky. I've got some internet response. Trumper 40, that's a good.
Yeah, I like that. That's good.
Good game. It's kicked off a bit of a debate about the price of eShop games. £5.40. Link's Awakening, by the way. Here, Trumper 40 says way too expensive for an old game. You can get the original for less than that. Scandalous.
Can you get the
I
original?
agree. I think eShop's overpriced.
£5.40 is a
£5.40
weird
for
thing, isn't it?
Link's Awakening, though.
So why is that?
That's going to last you a very long time. It's a classic.
I
Zelda
agree
game.
that you can
I'm
get
happy to
one
pay
£5
£5.40
for
for
With
that.
the eShop though, they're trying to
Because
take on
it's
they're
Game
trying
Boy
to take
Color.
on basically Apple, with like iPad games and stuff, and you can get games that are really, really big for like 59p. Like I think they're pricing themselves completely out of the market.
I don't
and
think
it's
you can
this-
get anything of the class.
No,
or
not the
scope
class,
of
but
Link's Awakening.
they've already made that game. They're not doing anything with it. Like they already had this game.
I get the argument, but
Well, I do and I don't. I do.
we just review the stuff that's in front of us.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
take the price into account.
Yeah,
I
I
think
get-
it's absolutely worth £5.
I get the argument. I do.
Money.
I agree. It's worth the money, but I don't agree with the argument that you could buy the full game for cheaper than that, because not everyone has a Game Boy Color, so you would have to take that into account as well. I think if you've got a 3DS and you've never played it before, that's still the cheapest way to play.
And also you'd have to lug the cart around with you everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And your Game Boy.
and,
Exactly.
I mean,
Cos
my only
13
issue.
adds. Sorry, Tom, just to because it was a complimentary point to the one you were making, Chris. It's backlit on the 3DS as well. I remember playing Link's Awakening even on a Game Boy Advance SP,
Yeah.
and it was
Yeah.
difficult to play in even anything approaching daylight.
Yeah.
On 3DS, it's perfectly clear,
Yeah.
and
That's a good.
the improvement is really incredible. It sounds like a stupid thing to
No, that's a good point.
say, but it's actually playable. You can see what you're doing at all times, which is and the colours are a lot more vibrant.
It's a good point that it is the first proper time you can see the actual colours that the things were supposed to be, because even in like you say on an SP, most of them were just like a front lit screen, so there was still a light shining right on the screen, so you weren't seeing it as it was intended. It is the first time you can properly see these games the way they were originally.
And
meant
it's
to be.
surprising what they've done with incredibly limited technology as well. Link's Awakening is actually a pretty good looking game.
Yeah.
Same with Donkey Kong and Mario Land.
I'll be interested to see what they do with Game Boy Advance games if they ever eventually come on eShop, because they were all
They'll be on their way, haven't
well,
they?
a lot of them are artificially lightened. To if you look at a screenshot of Super Mario World and then look at the Game Boy Advance remake, it's a lot brighter because they had to compensate for the screen. So it'll be interesting to see if they darken it again or keep it bright.
Yeah.
In which case the games will look a bit washed out.
Yeah.
Boring fact. About screen brightness.
I was leaning on the mic.
Listen, laugh it up. But when
I
you
found it interesting.
laugh it up, but when you get Mario Kart Super Circuit and it looks like it's been shone directly at the sun, then you'll,
Don't come crying to me.
Don't come crying to me with your wambulance.
The other thing I've got written down for in terms of what we've been playing, me and you, Gav, had a little trip to
A little holiday together.
Los Angeles.
Yeah, it was awesome.
To play on Wii U.
Yeah.
What was your favourite thing on Wii U?
Wii U, the battle thing.
Yeah,
That
Battle
was really
Me.
good. Battle Me. That was really, really good.
Mm.
I think I talked about it on our special E3 podcast, but it
Yeah,
was,
there were lots of. I don't know if you've listened to them back, but you can tell.
I can't.
Yeah, we're just getting increasingly tired as the week goes on, to the point where the last one is just an absolute shambles.
Oh, really?
Even more shambolic than these podcasts.
I can't listen
Don't believe
to
that.
Yeah, no, the Battle Me is going to be... That was really, really cool. It's hard to sort of gauge it because they're all tech demos, as we said, but yeah, no, that was really good.
Yeah.
Just talking tactics with the person next to me, like, I wasn't even playing with the controller, and it was still a good game. So.
Yeah.
Did you play with Reggie?
No, unfortunately not. Did play with Charles Martinet, though.
Really?
Yeah.
Did he do the voice all the way through?
He'd heard
No.
his voice by that point.
Oh,
didn't?
that's all right.
We saw him on the last day, and
Yeah.
he was
Really
he
out
was
of it.
broken.
I like him. I like Chuck.
Yeah.
Well, he lost his voice
Nice
in
guy.
like 2
Yeah,
days.
he'd been doing 2 days of constant
It
Mario
actually
voices,
pains him
and,
to do it.
To be
but
fair,
he keeps on going.
to be fair, no.
Is that what it
I
was
think he
like
could
by
just
the
do
end?
Wario.
He sounded like Candyman by the end of the week.
To be fair, no one actually asks him to do it. He just keeps doing it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you watch the old footage of him like opening and stuff.
He loves it.
They say, "All right, Charles, how's it going?" Yeah, I'm doing great. Yeah. Shut up.
He's great.
When he came in
He's
the office,
a great man.
he was commentating
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
entire
In
new
character.
Super Mario Brothers experience.
Well, it's method acting
Yeah.
along the
Yeah.
lines of De Niro,
Day-Lewis.
And
Bale,
Barry Chuckle.
Yeah.
Barry Chuckle.
Don't ever ask him to give a eulogy at a funeral. He'll just go on. He'll just stand up and go, "Wah!"
So
That'd be good.
some other highlights from E3. I refused to play on Luigi's Mansion 2 out of principle.
I loved it. I loved it more than I loved Super Mario
think
3D. You having that?
No.
It was awesome.
Absolutely
It was
not.
so good. Like the use of perspective and the use of like the 3D was one of the best I saw.
I hope it wins me over.
I love
think
Luigi's Mansion.
I think I'll play
Are you
it when
gonna
we're
review
getting
it,
a
yeah?
second time. No, absolutely not.
I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to a year's time from now. Where
When we do it on the
Neil
cover.
we do the podcast and Neil talks about it and says, I do you know something, I was wrong. Luigi's
Yeah.
Mansion.
Yeah.
There's going to be a
shone torch.
Pokemon style turnaround.
Yeah, Luigi's Mansion 2 is shone a torch straight into my heart.
Nice.
That's what I would say.
Well, we're going to have another chance to play on it
Yeah.
in a couple of weeks. So, what with
We'll
the
have
time
more
constraints of E3, I didn't want to waste my time on that nonsense. So
Yeah, next month
we'll have a bit more time to play it
yeah.
next couple of weeks. But Mario Kart and Super Mario, as well
Mario
as Star
Kart,
Fox, I think they're in my top 3.
Star Fox is
Of
awesome.
E3.
And the best thing about Star Fox is it's out in like a month or
Yeah,
something.
we're
September
reviewing
9th.
it in the issue we're working on now, on sale August the 4th.
Awesome.
Highly recommended.
Yeah.
Super Mario is an interesting one. It's our cover game this month. It's a lot slower than if you're used to Galaxy 2 and the
Yeah.
fast pace and the constantly zooming around camera angles and sort of mad physics.
Yeah.
It's a lot more simple and a lot more accessible.
I didn't like the
guess.
run, the sprint button. I think
Yeah, it's
that was-
got a really old school
Just make
run
him
button.
sprint. Take the button out, mate.
Yeah.
Use the button for something
Um,
else.
But there's some fascinating insight into the process behind that game
Yeah.
in the new official Nintendo magazine. It's on sale right now.
Strange. Well, it's like we work
A world,
for
yeah,
that
world
particular
exclusive
publication.
interview with Mr. Koizumi,
Sweet.
which is very interesting. A real honour to sit down and talk with him.
Yeah.
Did you say it was on
What
sale
else?
now?
I believe so. Yes, £4.50 this month.
That's all right, it's still
That's not
reasonable.
bad.
I was wondering when you were going to say that.
Yeah, £4.50.
Can't do $3.99.
Yeah, I need to change the
$3.99.
It's still
Yeah,
reasonable.
that's
It doesn't
It's
roll off
still,
the tongue quite as nicely.
It doesn't.
£4.50.
but it's still encourages me to run to my local boutique and snap it up
Yeah.
post haste.
Well.
Despite that,
In
I think
in 6 years, we've not put the price up once, so I think
Well,
that's fair game. 50p.
I think anything up to the value
Is
of
it 6 years? That's wrong.
£7.99,
5
years.
anything up to and including £7.99 is acceptable. I think
Yeah.
I tell you
for such a tome.
something that doesn't
Indeed.
have his price put up
Oh right, nice.
this
That
thing.
was slick.
is Nintendo TV.
Yeah.
Nintendo TV time
Brilliant.
with Gav Murphy.
Hello.
Gav Murphy on the TV. Nintendo TV.
That's the jingle I get.
So what's been happening on Nintendo TV apart from I'm on it, aren't I? I'm doing my
All
little,
the time,
I'm sort of like the new Dermot O'Leary,
basically.
only fatter and less professional.
Sexier, certainly.
You're obviously sexy.
Do you want us just to leave?
No, loads. If you tune in on the 16th, we're currently going fortnightly now. The videos will be on every other Friday on the
Yeah.
Nintendo channel, which means that I'm freed up to do some more regular videos on O&M, which we're
Yeah.
starting from next week. which
Nintendo
you'll
TV
see.
is expanding.
Yep. To the internet.
You're
the
expanding onto the
I'm
internet.
literally expanding right now.
You can watch.
I'm expanding
the first
just thinking
of-
about it.
This expansion, can't you?
Yeah. But yeah, so next week
there.
on the 16th, if you tune in, you can see Steve's adventures at the Pokemon Video Game Championships, where he takes on
Yeah.
a girl.
And
I should just say
you
that.
have to, you have to find
spoilers.
Yeah.
Well, can we?
No, no, no.
Everyone
you have
knows.
to-
Anyone who's a follower of
But maybe they
Twitter.
know.
He won.
I won. I'm
won the
Pokemon-
entire
I'm
thing.
Pokemon
Yeah,
champion.
it's going to
Yeah.
San Diego.
You're sitting here holding your trophy now.
Yeah.
It's time to just leave
and
it at home.
the live Pikachu that they give you when you win.
Yeah, I got quite a nasty shock from that this morning.
Can't believe that died.
He's not moving anymore. There's
No.
bits of his hair is
You
coming
should
off.
have. You should have fed him more than shreddies.
Yeah, you're supposed to feed
Pokemon
it
not
cherry
to be.
berries.
Shouldn't really keep him
not-
in that dungeon either. It's not very nice.
But yeah, we've got that. We're taking some other adventures on the road. We'll be at the Sonosphere Festival, which is a music thing, I'm told. Playing some games with some muddy festival goers.
Yeah.
And hopefully Bill Bailey,
Hopefully Bill Bailey.
if I can see him.
Sorry, should we just qualify that Steve didn't actually win the Pokemon Championship in case people
I
are
think it's
saying
probably
go
Bailey.
No, he won them all.
He won the
Did he?
war.
Got to win
He's
them
the
all.
best at Pokemon in the world.
Yeah, well, we sort of have to be.
Yeah.
That's true.
That was the ultimatum. Steve wins the Pokemon Championships or
Yeah.
fired.
He's gone.
Immediately
Just-
fired.
That's
Just
true,
don't watch that episode.
Yeah.
It's just assume,
You'd be
assume,
really
assume you won.
upset.
Move on.
And then we'll also have this special Nintendo event, hands-on, which will give us more insight into the games we saw at E3. That'll be
Yeah.
up.
So everything that was at E3 is coming over to the UK in a couple
Yeah.
of weeks. So you can read all about even more of our thoughts on those games in the next issue.
Do
on
you know
sale
that you can
in
play
August.
Skyward Sword this weekend at
What?
the London Film and Comic Con thing?
You can indeed.
At Earl's Court, as well as Star Fox, Resident Evil,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Metal Gear.
nice. Metal Gear as well.
Mm.
nice.
All very impressive demos. Some
So
lovely
that'll be
use of
good.
the gyro in Metal Gear as well,
Yeah.
which you can read about again in the official Nintendo magazine on sale now.
Yep.
Just tried to talk over a door opening there. I don't know if that was very successful.
I think we
Yes.
can be honest and say that,
You may-
that Gav
may-
has had to leave.
Gav.
You may
Yeah.
notice the
Yeah.
lack of Welsh in
He-
the next.
He decided to be really discreet about it and just
had a
he just
little
left,
accident in his trousers.
He just sort of waddled out.
It was all that talk of expanding earlier. It's just it's
He's had
suffering.
to go and relieve himself.
Exactly.
So that's nice. That's Nintendo TV done. What a prima donna. Well, as soon as he did his bit, he just left like Beyonce or something.
Unbelievable. Didn't stick around for Tom's website.
No, exactly. Beautiful
Doesn't he
segue there,
realise-
Tom.
doesn't he
So
realise
what's
it's
happening on
highly-
Tom's website?
Tom's Internet. Tom's Internet.
Well, right now we have a big vote for the best Nintendo music of all time going on.
Now that is
And
That is a
I have a
competitive
short
thing.
list of 20 here, which they can vote on. Can I read them all out? I'll tell you what,
Very
I'll
good.
read out some highlights. Okay. So,
Okay.
Donkey Kong Country 2, Sticker Bush Symphony. Do
What?
you know this?
How does that one go?
Oh yeah, it's
I
the
think
one that
that's
goes.
someone being willfully obscure there.
That's
That's how
I
it
can't believe
starts.
that.
Say again.
wah.
That's good.
And New Super Mario Brothers isn't in there.
Oh,
Good.
what?
The
No,
one,
good.
No.
the one with wah wah.
Despise it.
That's my favourite.
No.
It's your favourite?
No, it's not actually. My
His favourite is just as bad.
My favourite is Delfino Plaza from Super Mario Sunshine, which is in there. That's all
Is it that
which is.
It's got a bit of a- A bit of accordion in there.
Yeah, I said it was a piano on and got so
Someone
much
went mental.
abuse. Someone went
Someone went livid.
in the forum.
We just sit here taking abuse from the internet
They
all,
were just
all
like,
of our lives, don't we?
I'm really annoyed
Yeah.
that you said it was a piano. Okay,
Yeah.
look, it's
Tom,
a
you
mistake.
moron. I think you'll find it was a guitar.
We're only
Oh my
human.
God.
Yes, I'm not going to read out all the Ocarina of Time ones, but there's Gerudo Valley, Hyrule Field, main theme from Luigi's Mansion, The Great Sea from Wind Waker, which is great,
Yeah, that is good.
worthy of the title.
Have you got Kirby in there?
No
Ooh.
Kirby.
Oh, epic yarn.
These
Some of the music in that
these
is
have been
fantastic.
Yes.
suggested by the readers, so it's
Okay.
not me going. Oh,
Well-
these are
Well,
the
that
best."
explains a
Well.
lot then, doesn't it?
Pokemon Gold and Silver, Goldenrod City. It's very good.
And
Tetris.
I'm not taken by any of the Pokemon music.
No, yeah,
I'll be
it's
honest.
I like some of it, but
Try
not-
try
It's
Goldenrod
nowhere
City.
near as
Golden
iconic
City.
as the
Try
Nintendo
Goldenrod
stuff.
City. You'll love it.
It's good.
It's one of my
The
favorites.
big city.
It's the best.
And Mute Zone F-Zero, which is brilliant. I'd listened to that earlier. I was quite
Is that a-
impressed.
Johnny Cash
Mute Zone.
thing?
Is that the
is it
first
just
one?
silence?
No.
Ah,
And I'm thinking of
yeah,
the Game
it's
Boy Advance track, which was called Silence,
No.
which was the link-up
yeah.
one because they couldn't transfer the music to the other Game Boy.
Yeah. No, this is different.
I'm gonna put Silence forward as a
As the best track.
What's your favourite?
Of the ones listed,
Of the
or
ones listed or the ones not listed? Chris?
Super Mario Brothers 2 theme.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that is
Mhm.
brilliant.
That is the
Yeah.
greatest.
What does it go like?
Goes
I
etc.
like
That one.
The main Mario games all have.
They do,
Brilliant
and
music,
actually,
don't they?
this list has been dominated by Zelda. There is Gusty Garden Galaxy, Super Mario Galaxy credits, and main theme, and then Delfino Plaza. But the rest,
Well, even the Great Fairies theme in Zelda is properly catchy.
That's the one that was in Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Agreed.
little ditty has been running around in my mind since I've been playing Link's Awakening.
I really like Hyrule Market.
I don't like
When
that.
you go in there, and then when you're
Which-
adult,
how's
Link,
that
it
go?
goes.
No, it's a bit repetitive.
That,
though.
I
yeah,
like that.
that really drove in my brain. Didn't
Yeah.
like that one
What
at all.
about the Temple of Time?
Do you know?
Sounds like
th-
Fleet Foxes.
Do you know this is a fascinating? This is a fascinating fact. It's one of the fascinating facts you can read about in the future. Is that everyone says all the music in Ocarina 3D is just the N64 music copied over, but in fact it isn't, because in reality the 3DS doesn't have the same sound chips and the same instruments. So they actually had to redo all the N64 music to make it sound like the N64 music, because they wanted to, because Koji Kondo wanted it to sound accurate to
Yeah.
the old games.
That guy's
So-
a proper genius.
So
isn't he?
it
Kondo.
actually took them ages to recreate the music because it sounded like Nintendo 64 music, and it struggled with some of the tracks. Apparently, no, the one that goes the forest
Oh,
temple
yeah, the
one.
forest
one.
Yeah, apparently they took ages to try and do
Yeah.
that because they didn't have the instruments to sound like it.
That
Fun
is
fact.
one of the many facts you can read in the next issue on sale.
Yeah.
On sale August the 4th.
And another thing from the website, we pay a quick tribute to Donkey Kong, who will be 30 this month. Don't know the date because it's not on Wikipedia.
When
Bastion
is
of
when is
fact.
Donkey Kong 30?
1981, July
Friday, is it?
1981, the arcade
Same age
Machine.
Dale is 30.
came out.
It is.
Yeah, that's true. That was the year Donkey Kong
Yeah,
came
and the
out.
month.
not
So
in that
people
way.
have been leaving their tributes to DK.
Donkey
Late
Kong.
Mario 3 said, without Donkey Kong, Nintendo wouldn't be the same as it was today. It wouldn't have survived until today. It probably would have died in the mid-80s.
Pretty specific.
Yeah, what do you
Harsh.
think?
That's
Yeah, it
slightly
makes
me
sad.
melancholy.
It makes me
Yeah.
sad, but it's sad but true. But if-
Frogger is 30 years old. Where's his parade?
Yeah.
Frogger's rubbish, though.
We need to find him first. Scrape him out from under the wheel of a big articulated lorry.
Or dead at the bottom of a river.
Yeah, take that, Frogger.
Guitar Hero here says Donkey Kong is the founder of modern gaming. He has been around for 30 long years. That's true. 'Cause it's 30.
Donkey Kong himself isn't. That's Shigeru Miyamoto.
Yes. Well, that's true.
Donkey Kong created his own
Just
game.
to create.
That's a fact.
Yeah, you can't. It's not like there's not like a big monkey. In
actually-
Maybe that's the big
Japan
secret.
creating all the games.
That's Nintendo's secret.
He makes a little point. He says, well, Cranky Kong has, as in, it is actually
don't get me
Cranky
started
Kong's
on that.
30th.
Don't get me started on the weird time loop.
Yeah,
Okay.
then who's Donkey Kong Jr.?
Depends
I
which
know.
Donkey Kong Jr. you mean, because there's two of them.
The arcade one.
Well, it's a bit of a Back to the Future 2
Yeah,
scenario
'cause
where there's alternative universes and
first
things.
Donkey
and
Kong-
Biff runs a big casino.
Because the first Donkey Kong
not true.
Jr. is Donkey Kong's dad, current Donkey Kong's dad.
Yep.
Is
Fact.
Hmm.
that Cranky Kong?
Cranky Kong's Donkey Kong's granddad.
Oh, okay.
So Donkey Kong Jr. is Donkey Kong's dad, and the new Donkey Kong Jr. is Cranky Kong's great grandson.
Right.
I'm confused already.
It is basically.
Anyways,
Back to
the game itself is 30.
Yeah, he
That-
said
that much is
He says
clear.
it makes him proud to be a gamer. Donkey Kong.
Oh, good.
That's
Ah.
nice. So yeah,
Touching tributes to a large monkey there, which is what it's all about, really.
Yeah.
So that's all good stuff. Now it's reader questions.
I don't understand, Professor. Why are we going to help solve an inheritance dispute?
This is an altogether unique and exciting situation, and it has piqued my intellectual curiosity. There we go. Frankly, I'm ashamed.
So this month's reader questions, a incredible selection of amazing queries. First of which comes from Richard Burrows. Real name, not an amusing forum name or anything. So thanks for your frank honesty there, Richard. He asks, what launch games would you like to see for the Wii U? Chris, do you want to go first? No.
No. Probably a Mario or a Zelda game. So I'd think outside the box there.
Yeah, interesting.
That's crazy talk. Well, we know Darksiders 2
yes.
is a launch
Yeah.
game.
Is
That's
Killer
an
Freaks?
Yeah.
odd launch choice.
I don't know
Killer
if
Freaks is definitely a launch game as
Yeah.
well. Killer Freaks from Outer Space.
From Outer Space.
You can
yes.
read much more about that in
I quite like looking
Nintendo
at
magazine.
that, actually. Thought it looked fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it's it looks like a fun spin on first-person shooting. I'm glad that we've got a different. If it was just some army guys going, "Oh, move out,"
Yeah.
that sort of stuff, which I was absolutely sick of by within about half an hour of E3. It's good that we've got a different style of
I
shooter
think so. I
because
think
we
it
are
suits-
Nintendo fans and we deserve
Nintendo.
something slightly different.
Yeah. I think if I was in charge of the launch, I would get as many games out as possible, especially the stuff that had already come out on other formats, because everyone moans about how there's no games on 3DS, even though it's not really that true. When it comes to Wii U launch, you should get your Arkham City, whatever Assassin's Creed game it is, Ghost Recon, Aliens, Colonial Marines. Get it all out on day one.
Should you?
Darksiders 2. Yeah, because
Don't you think they should do
because
from-
they'll already be out on Xbox and PS3 by then. So basically, Nintendo,
Okay, yeah.
once they bring them all out, they can basically say, "There we go, we're all on level playing field now. So here's what else we've got. Here's
But
what
I'd
there
like
else
to
were,
see
there
some.
were 13 games, wasn't it, for
Yes, 13.
3DS at launch? And then since then, there have been only a few a week. So, and sometimes
I think
none.
a
So
more
wouldn't it
even
be better
spread
to
would be
release
better.
like 5 top class games,
Yeah.
maybe 6, and then just have more coming out over the coming
I
weeks?
think from a tedious business perspective, if you're a publisher, you don't want to be putting out your game against.
Yeah.
If Nintendo launched Super Mario Universe on Wii U day one,
Confirmed.
confirmed, you don't want to be going up against that. You want to leave it a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So I would, you can see the logic of not front loading your console launch because
I just
it'll disappear in among all the frenzy.
Yeah. I mean, there are loads of good. There are really good games out for 3DS that came out at launch, including something like, what am I thinking of?
Street Fighter Pilot Wings, Ridge Racer, Nintendo.
No, the other one, Ghost Recon. That's it.
Yeah.
Ghost Recon, yeah.
Which,
that was
like,
lost.
if that had come out, say,
That
3 weeks after,
you're
4
absolutely right,
weeks
yeah.
after, that would have, people
Would have
gone,
got a
"You
lot
should
more
buy
attention."
this." Yeah.
Talking about releasing games that are big on other platforms, never really made it to Nintendo. I'm a big fan of like the Assassin's Creed series. If they released like a collector's pack of the Assassin's Creed games up until this point, and just use like the Wii U controller as like a developer's commentary style thing, so when you're in an area, it tells you more information about how they developed this bit of the game, and you can stop and you can click little voice clips and stuff like that.
Well, that's an interesting point, because there are all these different series now that Nintendo's kind of missed out on can all get this treatment, and it won't. If they did it on other formats, it would just seem like they're rehashing it. But if they brought out like the last 3 Tomb Raider games, or like you say, the Assassin's Creed games, or Grand Theft Auto 5 with all the Grand Theft Auto 4 with all the DLC, in one package, and like made proper like special collector's editions of them, it would maybe encourage people who already own 360 and PS3 to go on Wii U so they can own like the definitive versions of the games they've already got.
I think we will be seeing a lot of that sort of thing.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
It'll be great.
Answer Richard's question about the actual games. I suppose if we would say we want a spread, so you'd want one Zelda or Mario game, wouldn't you? I'd suggest.
Yeah. Well,
and then
I want something
City, then
pure Nintendo.
Yeah.
I don't want a load of, like I say, guys with guns.
Yeah.
Load of war-based first-person shooters, or.
But you want one. You'd like one.
Yeah,
one
or two.
One
but I
should be
don't
on
want
there
it
at
to
launch,
become
perhaps.
sitting through the EA and Ubisoft conferences at E3 where it was so boring. Just guys with guns.
They should bring out whatever the next Call of Duty game is, not Modern Warfare, whatever the one after that. That should be a launch game, and that's your shooter cover, because that's the ultimate shooter that everyone cares about. That and then whatever else.
I'd love to see.
I want to see a big spread.
Skyward Sword HD.
Nice.
So I think if they're developing it right now, there's no reason why they can't just every step of the process just go, does this work in widescreen and HD? Is it going to look good? And go, just have it, flick it on like a switch.
Yeah, just don't announce it before the Wii one comes out.
Yes, that's true. Keep it quiet until then.
So thanks for your question, Richard. Next question is from Angus Warburg. If you could record your own voice as the voice of a Nintendo character, who would it be? Tom, you're claiming the Layton series.
Yes, I was, just because I can vaguely do an impersonation of Professor Layton. I have the answer. And
I think I've got it.
Yeah, you can be Luke. There you
Thanks.
go.
I'd love to be.
I think I've got it, Professor.
I think any and all of us would take any opportunity to replace probably any game with a crude sort of New York style accent,
yes, that's true.
as we do in the podcast quite regularly.
Hey,
The
Mario.
mercenary.
Watch yourself, buddy.
Mario.
Yeah, I would like to be the narrator in Nintendogs. Just go, hey, where's the cats? You need a few more cats in your house, wise guy. Go and get yourself some cats.
I'd like to do Samus's voice, but just deadpan, just like my own voice, and just saying needless things. That, like when she shows up on a planet, it's like, here I am on the planet.
You can tell him with Princess Peach when Mario comes to rescue her, she just goes, "Cheers, mate."
Thanks, Mario.
It'd be good to include a sort of a kind of indifferent, bored-sounding Carl Pilkington style voice into any sort of sweeping epic RPG where the great evil descends and takes over the world, and the hero comes out and goes, "All right. You want me to sort it out? Then?
Suppose you want me to sort it out.
Pick up that sword. Yeah.
That sword.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm 7 years older now. That's a bit weird.
Got those spirit gems.
Generic
right
Mank.
I would love to record the voice of Mario and just say nothing. That's how it should be. Just to say, okay, I like it.
Just occasionally, every time he jumps, go.
Excuse me. Like, you get like Miyamoto or whoever saying like, okay, Chris, I'd like you to say, let's go. And let's go. no. And then so they would be forced to release
That
a
would
game with
make
no,
it
no
miserable.
voice acting.
Yeah.
No, it would be miserable.
Extracting the
without that.
joy.
Yeah.
Well, you're also
give
killing
Link a-
Charles Martinet's career.
Or do
over
the
that.
opposite and give Link a voice.
I think he should have a voice.
Link should have the Carl Pilkington voice.
That's all he does.
Link should have the Carl Pilkington
Yeah.
voice
Yeah.
because then they like
Right.
goes in and meets the
Alright.
the Gorons and everything, and they go roll over and go roar, and he goes, alright.
What are you then? What are you supposed to be?
Do you want me to play you a song? Right.
It's really dull on a xylophone to do.
So,
yeah.
thanks for your question, Angus. We're going to move on to Raymond's Bouquets. Is he French?
Exactly how.
Raymond Bouquet.
Bouquets! He says, what small and insignificant thing in games annoys you, even though they shouldn't? I get annoyed, he says, when the skid marks in racing games fade away. This is the best bit. I always expect them to stay there forever. It sickens me to see them fade.
Sickens him to see the
I think it should be like the Mercenaries, where if you put a skid mark on one of Mario Kart's tracks, it's there forever.
Forever
like
and
next time you
Yeah.
play the game. So if you get it like
That'd be
pre-owned a couple of times, it's just covered in skid marks.
Yeah.
Oh,
Although then,
Like
then
other
it's
things.
open to abuse.
That's true.
You could go off track and draw, for example, a crude person's part on
A part of a crude person.
their knuckles, a crude person's knuckle.
on the side of the track or something. But obviously, that would be incredibly immature to even think of something like that.
Yeah.
What
I hate-
small and insignificant thing have you got, Steve?
I hate when you go to the Pokemon Center.
What part?
What?
Small and insignificant thing have you got, Steve?
Didn't even realise.
Well done.
When you go to the Pokemon Center and you heal your Pokemon, and the lady says, "We hope to see you again soon," which
Yeah.
is a horrible thing to say. Because
Yeah, I hope
you're
your
only there
Pokemon
because
get
your
injured.
Pokemon have been grievously injured.
Yeah,
That is true.
quite unpleasant.
I'm going to say,
Sinister undertones.
It's like a nurse in a
Pokemon
hospital
Center.
saying, "Come back soon."
Yeah,
yeah. See you again.
Yeah. Scum.
So that annoys me.
nasty.
I can't say this is insignificant. I don't know if this is small and insignificant. I'm going to say Pokemon again. The running shoes. Why aren't they with you from the start? Is that small and insignificant? Probably
Yeah, it's
not.
pretty significant.
You can't
it's,
run.
It's very slow until you get.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I hate when you're playing a racing game and you crash. And you just want to restart the race. Just put the cars back to the start where they're supposed to be, and you have to wait for the game to load again. I said, well, the track's loaded, the cars are loaded.
Yeah.
Just put them back. Don't. Why? What are you loading? You're loading nothing.
Dunno.
You scumbag game. Put the bloody cars back where they're supposed to be. Let me put the foot down. Anytime I'm not
Fuming
playing
over racing games.
cutscenes, tutorials, and car loading screens. Anytime I'm not playing, I'm livid.
Should.
Hurry
You
up.
don't like any
It's
cutscenes.
just impatient.
I don't like cutscenes where they're unnecessary. It's just like, show me what's happening. Let me get to it. Hurry up. That's my advice.
think-
That's my advice
do
for
you think
developers.
you need a
Hurry up.
cutscene every single time Link opens a chest?
No. Not if it's something
No, I like that.
insignificant.
That's good.
If,
Like a
if it's just a compass, I don't want to go. Oh, is it? It's a compass.
they-
Right? Come on, that happens every dungeon. I know.
You're
Come on,
right.
hurry
They
up.
do-
Why doesn't
they do
one compass
celebrate
work in
the
all of the
compass
dungeons?
Slightly
Yeah.
too much in those other games.
It's like once again,
It's like,
hurry
whoa.
up, Miyamoto, hurry up.
Can I
Kikes it.
mention another?
It's been quite an
small
angry
insignificant-
podcast, hasn't it?
And why
Why
is
is it?
Jabu Jabu drawn a diagram of his insides and swallowed it,
And then hidden in
one of
in
his?
his chest.
It'd be much quicker if he just told
He
you.
must
By
have
the way,
settled that up and then swallowed it whole, like a ship in a bottle or something.
it'd be much quicker if he just said, "By the way, Link, here's go and
Yeah.
just dive in, and get that." It's like Link should just says to him, "Listen, mate, hurry up." Get it done.
It took me a while to get that as well.
Yeah.
That's an annoying dungeon.
Link rolling is, you say, is quicker than him running.
Yeah.
Is it?
I'm sure that rolling upstairs
I'm not sure.
wouldn't be a particularly
It's
good
true.
way to get about. That's my
Yeah.
last small and
It's true.
insignificant thing
yeah.
that annoys me.
My thing is
Him
the
rolling upstairs.
the entrances to
It's ridiculous.
Lake Hylia,
It really hurts.
Kakariko Village, Gerudo Valley, all of those. Like, there's a clear bit where you're like, okay, I'm going in now. But there's still another good 5 or 6 seconds of running, generic running into. Right, I'm in now. Couldn't you have just put the marker of me being in that bit a little bit further on rather than?
Yeah.
I don't see why the
insignificant but
horse
annoying.
can't go into
Yeah,
some
and that.
places either.
Just
There's a good
just
one
make
they
that bit
fixed.
to Kakariko Village flat.
Yeah.
Then you can just
There's a
cruise
good
around there on
one-
the horse.
There's a good one they fixed for Ocarina 3D, which was in the N64 one, and they fixed and loads of other games. Is when the text box draws out really slowly, and it's like, just show me what the text is, and then I'll read it and decide when I've read it.
Yeah.
Don't like spell it out like as if I'm 4 years old, like really slowly. I'm like, because you're reading faster than the text appears. Hurry up! Just basically
There's
hurry up.
another thing
So-
that opponent does is that when you do run up to, to me, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to go into your home village, right, on a horse. Why not? But when you run up to it, stops and then reverses.
stops,
yeah,
yeah.
not having it.
There's a bit of reversing,
very
isn't there? Yeah.
slowly. I mean, reversing's probably not the technical word for.
Backs up.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
And then you have to get off.
that's true.
It could just go.
At least let you go in and then just delete Epona. Not
Yeah.
entirely.
so you
just-
fall off.
You just come back and there's just a blanket over it. Someone's making glue.
Yeah, so small and insignificant things.
See, that's why I didn't get
outrageous.
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You can't.
little details
You
like
can't
that.
put a blanket on a Epona. You can't hurry up.
So if you want to inspire further incredibly insightful chatter like that, please do send us your questions. Send them to onm@futurenet.com with the subject heading podcast question. Now it's time for the competition. So last time on the last sort of traditional style of podcast, which was 2 months ago now, we were talking about Marie Antoinette and the American War of Independence, Episode 1, The Brotherhood of the Wolf.
Classic.
Which is the classic DS mystery game, which also includes time travel. As a result of that, we asked you to, because of its incongruous time traveling nature, we asked you to draw us as historical figures. We had two really brilliant entries that shone above all the other ones. Steve, you have the first.
I've got Jamie Reed's entry here.
That's brilliant, isn't it?
It's awesome.
Really good.
He's a runner-up in the competition. He's drawn us. He's drawn me as a leprechaun.
A famous historical figure.
If you could just run us through the number of stereotypes he's crammed into this, it's really impressive work. Genuinely amazing.
It's. I can see three heinous ones. I'm a leprechaun.
You're a leprechaun. What with being Irish
because
and such?
he can't think of any famous Irish people.
Well, because there aren't any.
You got James Joyce
They're
and
the
Bono.
rules.
Sinead O'Connor.
Sinead O'Connor.
Picture
Aldridge.
ripping up a picture of the Pope.
Gav is Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that? He's not Welsh.
Well, that's what he's saying. He's saying he can't think of any famous
or
Welsh
Professor
people.
Layton.
Gav Lincoln.
Or even Welsh stereotypes.
Surely Harlot was nicking about with Ryan Giggs. He could have done Gav as her.
Neil is William Shakespeare. Chris is William Wallace.
I'd specifically say
Alright,
not
alright.
to be
I
about
think
Yes,
he's made reference to that.
Yeah, so yeah.
he's shouting, I thought I said not William Wallace.
Livid.
But there you go.
Oh my.
And Tom, you are Darwin. Saying, no, this is evolution. And before you, you've got the NES, the N64, and the Wii.
So much thought that's gone into this. It's absolutely brilliant.
He's even got a picture.
Yes,
He's
he's
got
got-
one of his own pictures in it.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Pride of place on the table, which is modest.
He's brilliant.
Yeah.
Gav and you look quite sad. Is that because there's no...
Yeah, everyone else is like
probably a
really
reason for
happy.
It's because he couldn't think of any more famous
Famous Irish or Welsh people.
Irish or Welsh.
I think you should have gone for Robbie Keane.
quite hard to caricature off that.
It's
He
true.
hasn't really got any distinguishing features.
Whereas in this one, I've got a pot of gold and some Lucky Charms.
I still think I should have been Sean Connery. I maintain.
Those been a mistake.
Oh, something's fishy.
So
Chris
that's-
Brosnan we could have had because he's Irish.
Well, he's Irish.
Yeah.
So,
So we
you
could have.
could say his really bad line in Tomorrow Never Dies, is it? When he knocks the guy into the printing press and goes, they'll print anything in the paper these days. So, yeah.
Perfect.
There you
go. So that's the runner-up. We should give him something anyway.
Yeah,
It's brilliant.
we'll send him a
But
gift.
let's say they're both winners. We're all winners.
Yeah.
Do we have 2 Marie Antoinettes?
Listen, I'll
No,
code you
I
one in
guess
half an hour.
We'll split them between the
Cut it in
winners.
half.
I'll get a time show.
John Vakinis, one of our bloggers, who recently made a visit to the office, in fact.
And baked cake.
Hello, John. Baked a cake. Thanks very much. Bribery does not play a part in this, but
No.
he is the winner. Could you run us through what's happening in his illustration? here,
Yes,
Chris?
he's gone for a more medieval theme. I say medieval, just like older people, basically. He's done me as George Washington, which I think is apt.
It's not very medieval.
Well, older than a leprechaun.
Is this
yeah.
a recreation of the cover of Marie Antoinette?
I think it probably
Yeah.
is.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it might be, actually. That's nicely done. So, yeah, I'm George Washington. Tom is Paul Revere, I believe. Steve is, I believe, Louis XIV of France.
That'll be
And-
16th.
Well, it says 16th, but I thought Louis XIV was the big cheese. One of the Louis of France. And Gav is Marie Antoinette.
Looking
and-
particularly gorgeous.
I have to say, I do look a bit like Hitler, though, rather than
Yes.
I think you look
Paul Revere.
quite
I don't
dashing.
actually know what he looks like, Paul Revere. I'll have to go and check out a portrait somewhere.
I personally like the fact that Gav looks like the late Randy Macho Man Savage. Which I find quite funny. Oh, yeah.
What he's
Very-
missing is
he's
the
very
man in the
large.
time travel
Look how
circle.
large his body is compared to his head.
That
as
could have
well.
been me.
Busty is the
Quite
buxom.
disappointed with that.
So, yeah, it's
So
pretty awesome.
I think Gav and Chris in particular are extremely
I'm quite
close
impressed.
resemblances.
That's the closest anyone's ever been able to draw me, because usually they just draw a slightly
Yeah.
chunky man with glasses. But they've
Steve,
actually
you
gone
look
for-
like Toon Link.
Yeah, I've got very striking eyes.
Yeah,
I'll be pleased with that.
yeah. So
Better
thanks,
looking like Hitler.
thanks for those. They're absolutely brilliant. We'll split those prizes. Well, there's 4 games. So they can have 2
two each.
each, right? Marie Antoinette, Rio,
So is
Lego Ninjago, and Emily the Strange.
Yeah.
Well done. Congratulations.
Good job.
So this month, as part of the Bermuda Triangle launch celebrations.
It's a month of celebrations.
We've been sent a DS game called Bermuda Triangle.
It's just
Could you run us through that one, Chris?
it's just some stupid puzzle
Who makes
crap.
these
It's just it looks like
I know.
it just looks
And
like
who is it from?
well, I don't know
Who's publishing it? Who's
I don't know. They basically they've said, let's take Bust a Move and call it Bermuda Triangle. That's it.
why Bermuda
done.
Triangle?
Why not? Because there's never been any games about Bermuda Triangle except for Cobra Triangle in the NES.
Yeah.
So they've decided
I'm
to
sure
go
there's a
with that.
game called that. Triangle, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe
So,
not.
because of the its mysterious appearance and the fact that we know nothing about this game, we'd like you to write the opening paragraph to a Nintendo-themed murder mystery novel.
Nice.
So you can, we could be in it, perhaps. Tom, you could be Colonel Mustard. I'll be Miss Scarlet.
Obviously.
That sort of thing. In case you're not interested in Bermuda Triangle, and why wouldn't you be? We're also
Everyone
going to
might have it by now. There's
Yeah,
always
that's
that.
Yeah, it's true.
It's pretty much the new Call of Duty. So we are also giving away Solata Robo on DS, which is an excellent, if slightly offbeat DS title, and also Transformers on Wii, which is what, Chris? Average?
Which is 2 hours of gaming goodness,
Yeah.
and then you
2
finished
hours.
it. Yeah.
Man.
They don't even
Sounds
go.
good.
They don't even transform to the robot forms. They
Don't
just
they?
go into
What?
kind of half robots. They don't even go. They just kind of
Really?
go into like half.
So they just go.
They just go. Yeah, you can transform into either car or a car with a gun that comes out.
But not walking robots.
No.
That's
That's what?
Because
That's
that
poor.
takes too much effort to program, Steve.
That's the whole point of Transformers.
Not anymore. It isn't.
what?
Robots in disgrace. I think you'll find.
So we have got one good game to give
Yeah,
away.
Solata Robo is
Okay,
awesome.
definitely worth entering. So
And you can trade in Transformers for a pretty penny
yeah,
because it doesn't
exactly.
have a save game block.
So write the opening paragraph of a Nintendo-themed murder mystery novel and send it in to onm@futurenet.com with the subject heading Podcast 23 competition, and we will reveal the incredible winners next month and possibly read them out in a silly voice. Until then, it's goodbye from us. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Love you.
Thank you very much for listening to the podcast. Bye-bye.
Do, 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 do.